I'm done with these shadows. If you want to see what's next, then stick around. All right, let's get this out of the way. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel, please consider subscribing if you're not already. Whew. I am so ready to move on. So ready. It's not even funny. What am I ready to move on from? These guys. These were the two eyeshadow palettes in the Elizabeth Arden holiday collection this year. And I was more excited about these than I was about the Lancôme set. Just show you the other one here. And I did a number of looks with them over the last 2 weeks. And I have even done a late evening play trying to get them to be more punchy, which I did get, but I wasn't jazzed by the look. And it's time to put them aside. I'm spoiler for the overall Arden holiday set, but I do not recommend these. And I hope that they are not an indication of the regular quality of Elizabeth Arden shadows. I'm not a fan, not a fan. One that I will continue to use, I was supposed to use those for the month of January. What I will continue to use is this face palette by Elizabeth Arden. I think that there are some solid products in here and I'm fine with it. But the shadows, I need to move on. For a full view of the Elizabeth Arden products, please take a look toward the end of the month of January or early February, and I will have my overall view of the holiday set at that time. Now on to, hopefully, greener pastures. I am ready to do a focus on a couple of little palettes from a big brand called Viseart. And I chose two palettes that are kind of complementary to each other. The first one is the VII, which is Siren. They're so new, I haven't swatched them or anything. There's the plastic still on the mirror, and there's the plastic covering the shadows. So that is going to change right now. Let's take this off. It feels like a ceremony to me. And here are the shadows. Now the nice thing about these pans is that you'll see on the side that you can grab the pan and you can actually remove them from the pan. And the pan is magnetized, so they're securely in here. And there are 3 mattes and 3 shimmers, and I think they look very nice. They're definitely peachy brown, with the exception of that gold, but I think they look pretty darn good. Of course, I'm going to have the satisfaction of removing the mirror. Plastic. There we go. Woohoo! All right, so that's the first one. VII Siren. And the other one that I'm going to be testing out is the Petit 2. And it looks like this. Oh, there was no plastic on the mirror on this one. How unfortunate. But these are the shades. Sorry, let me take the plastic off. Duh. This is just dawning on me, obviously, duh. If you have more than one Petit and you have more than one of the Theory palettes, you can start to switch them around, which for somebody who travels a lot would be super, super convenient. They're already small, but then small and versatility of moving things around I think is great. And of course, if you're a makeup artist, it's nice to be able to take them out of these little packages easily. As I look at them, I don't think that there's overlap really, except for maybe the cream shade. Yeah, no overlap. Good on you, Hélène. You did a good shopping choice. I am going to swatch all of these for you right now. Okay, we're going to start with the VII Sirens. I'm going to do the mattes first. I have not primed my arm or anything. This is just straight on skin. So let's take the first 3, the mattes. Well, that third one is really, really light. You can barely see it on my skin. But I mean, it's nice to have a really light shade, matte shade for the brow bone anyway, so I'm not upset about that. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing very light makeup today. If you're curious, I'm wearing the Smashbox Matte Exposure right now on my eyes. I did a very, very light base because I knew I was probably going to be trying these shades. And so it's not something that can't be covered up quite easily. We're going to go into the shimmers next. That gold somehow looks a little bit out of place in a way. It's the only one that's of that kind of color. Now those pack a punch. Very nice. Now, as I do usually with swatches, I'll go over all of them a second time and show you the result. Okay, let me scooch forward here. So here are all the swatches. I would have to say that they swatched better, obviously the mattes, especially more the second time. I find that's very much the case with mattes. The shimmers were already quite bold the first time around, but I think this is a good representation of what's in the palette. I'm looking forward to using them. Some of the mattes make me think of the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions. Let me just grab that palette for a second. I just did swatches of this palette. I'll link them right here. And let's just take a look. And if you're curious about my first impressions with this palette, I'll also link it above. If we take a look at this palette and we take a look at the swatches, especially the mattes, I definitely see some similarities here. And then for the two shimmers, yeah, there's not the duochrome on the bottom, but the top shimmer looks relatively similar. Just bring the two palettes together here. Do you see how there are a couple of shadows that look the same? This one, and this one down here for sure. So I'm kind of curious to compare them. Just going to put Huda Coral Obsessions next to some of the Viseart shadows and just see. Okay, I swatched the four that are the most similar. And I think you'll see, so Huda is on the bottom and the Viseart is up above. So I have to say that for four of the Huda to be pretty darn close to, or reasonably close, you could really get this kind of a look, except for these two shimmers, right? For the soft peach terracotta looks, you would definitely be able to use either palette. They look so similar. And then I'm just going to swatch that duochrome from Huda underneath the, oh no, yeah, those are very different. That's not going to do anything. I'll show you, but it's almost not worth it. I just thought I would swatch this one, but it's so different. I mean, really, I could have used this one down here as well. As a matter of fact, this one could also be not an exact dupe, obviously, but give some of the feel of this first Viseart shimmer. So yeah, a lot of overlap between these two palettes. I'll have to see how the Viseart feels compared to the Coral Obsessions. Okay, we've swatched the Theory palette. Let's go over to the Petit Pro 2. Just a reminder here, 4 mattes, 4 shimmers. So I am going to do the mattes first, as was the case with the Huda palette. Just wiping my arm some more. Okay, we are ready. It's interesting to me how the mattes have, the first 3 mattes have more of a plum feel And then the purple obviously goes, feels more cool to me. And then these are very, very rosy. So more plum up here and then more rosy down here. It's an interesting mix. I don't find that any of them, maybe this one is more like a plum color. All right, I'll stop talking and let's swatch. Yeesh. Okay, I'm never impressed with mattes the first pass. So I'm going to refrain from passing judgment. I'm going to do the 4 shimmers and then I will build up those swatches as I normally do. Okay, so the shimmers, those were all, you saw it, those were all one swipe. So the shimmers apply a lot better than the mattes. That said, I'm going to build up all of these swatches a second time for you and show you the result. Here we go. I think the mattes did a lot better. The shimmers really didn't build up that much because the first go around they were really good. I can see that I'm going to have an okay time with the mattes. I can't explain it, but just the way they feel, it's like, oh yeah, they're going to be buildable. I'm going to be able to pack them on. It just, I don't know, it just feels like it's going to be fine. Just to recap, I like both of these palettes very much. And so as far as having swatched this one, and because of their similarities, at least in the peach category, I am going to use this palette first out of the 2 Viseart palettes, and I will look forward to doing that. If you want to take a look at that particular first impressions, you will be able to see it on my channel tomorrow. That's it for my introduction of this brand new focus. I believe it's 21 now, along with swatches for this Petit Pro and the VII Siren, both from Viseart. I hope you will enjoy watching the progress of this brand new focus, and of course when I do a brand new focus, you will, unless I'm focusing on another palette for a given video, you will be seeing me sporting looks with these 2 palettes, either together or separate, to basically allow me to try everything and then report back what I think of the 2 palettes. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.